And now welcome to the Philosophical Corner.
When is insane things slightly less insane? Wait, Jules. Jules! I'm on my own. Randy Orton's in a spot of bother, isn't he? Allegations of, well, let's just call it misconduct that former WWE creative writer Court Bauer said back in 2012 have reared their ugly head yet again. Turns out, in a literal prick move, Orton used to, allegedly, take his hand, put it down inside his trunks, rub around for a little bit, fondling himself, and then go and try and shake the hand of new creative writers. Oh, you don't want to shake my hand? You're big-leaguing me? That's up, man. Should I tell Vince and Steph that you won't shake Randy Orton's hand? I guess he just delights in making people squirm. I mean, shake his hand and look like a complete arsehole, or just walk around in a constant state of fear that Vince is going to say something to you. What would you pick? It's a more impossible choice than trying to work out which one of his matches is more boring. The one with Triple H at Mania 25 or the Jinder Mahal Punjabi prison match. And then on SmackDown, they show him lurking behind a curtain in the backstage. Art imitating life, I guess. And this isn't the first time allegations like this have come up against Randy Orton. In a YouShoot interview, Mr. Kennedy said that Orton used to come up behind him, bollock naked, and just dip his penis and balls down into his boots. Orton himself has said that back in OVW he used to do things just to try and get a reaction from John Cena. Things like blowing his nose on his shirt in the middle of a match and then getting Cena in a headlock and rubbing his face in the snot on his shirt. Or things like walking up behind him in the dressing room and just plonking his dick on his shoulder. Still, WWE's response on the matter is that they are looking into it, which I guess is just a euphemism for they think it's gonna blow over in a week. Next up, and as reported by PW Insider, Jeff Jarrett has filed a lawsuit against Impact Wrestling's parent company, Anthem Sports, in which he alleges that Impact Wrestling has wrongfully monetized his Global Force Wrestling intellectual property. The 2017 merger was never actually formalized, which kind of makes their decision to go ahead and rebrand Impact Wrestling as GFW as premature as it is stupid. And accordingly, Impact should not have distributed the Amped TV show across any platform, let alone their global wrestling network, the name and logo of which Jeff Jarrett has also cited. Now, this isn't what's insane here. What is insane is the manner in which Jeff Jarrett has described himself in the complaint. Now, all the credit for this goes to David Bixenspan for his sublime sleuthing, but this is more Jeff Jarrett than slamming his guitar into the back of a promising mid-carder's head. He has referred to himself as having 77 championship reigns throughout his career and brilliantly said that he has had 17 World Championship reigns. Now this means when John Cena finally beats Ric Flair's record, he's only equaling Jeff Jarrett's. Jarrett versus Cena, WrestleMania, Champion of Champions match. Book it. Jarrett has counted all 4 of his WCW championship reigns and the 6 times he's been NWA World Heavyweight Champion, which is fair enough, but it gets a little bit fuzzy after that. His 2 World Wrestling All-Stars reigns are in there, and his USWA Unified World Heavyweight Championship and the AAA Mega Championship, which is a name more ironic than his intellectual property. Also, Jarrett is seeking treble the amount that Airing Amped has earned Impact Wrestling this far. Better get back to selling pyramid schemes, eh? Ziggler's brother Ryan Nemeth tweeted earlier this week his apparent displeasure at heel promo cliches. He doesn't like it when heels wear sunglasses indoors or point in promos or use the words "the fact of the matter is." Now, just skimming over the fact that this is pretty much The Rock's entire act. What is it exactly that Ziggler does? On Raw, Ziggler wore sunglasses to the ring, pointed defiantly in his promos, and used the same lines over and over and over again. What is it exactly that Ziggler has done to get to the top? Is it A, make a continuous effort to reinvent himself and not rely on his "I'm being held back" shtick that ran out of date back in 2014? Is it B, left WWE and proved that he can get over elsewhere and come back with a massive buzz? Was it C, work on deficient areas of his game instead of relying on incredible bumps that just guaranteed he was going to lose all the time because he made it look so damn good. Or was it D, just scratched and clawed? Spoiler, it's D. Ziggler's more of a pet cat than he is a main event level talent, and his brother ripped the piss out of him for it. Let's go back in time for a moment. NXT TakeOver, Orlando, April the 1st, 2017. Bitter enemies, the Revival and DIY, are locked in a heated battle against the Authors of Pain. Akam and Razor are invincible, so much so that to gain any kind of advantage, bitter rivals put aside their differences and throw away their very ethos. Dash Wilder, the no flips, just fists throwback, throws himself at the brutes with Johnny Gargano at his side, doing a suicide dive through the ropes. It's the exact kind of flippy shit that he can't stand, but he resorts to it because it's the only way he can win. It's athletic, it's unexpected, it underscores the lengths that people will go to in the pursuit of victory. It is great storytelling. Fast forward to Monday Night Raw, August 13th, 2018. After months of either anonymity or embarrassment, Wilder throws himself at Bray Wyatt because it's a move to do. A move on the limited checklist of every road agent just phoning it in. We see it in 2/3 of all Raw matches. Why? No flips, just fists. Oh, and a suicide dive, because everyone's got to do one. This is the company that's supposed to do storytelling. It's everything else out there that's the flippy shit with no psychology, apparently. And bizarrely, the Revival were rewarded with a match for the Raw Tag Team Championships, even though they lost the match clean. Character and narrative logic mean absolutely f*** all. So Dave Meltzer has found himself in a bit of internet turmoil when a clip from his Wrestling Observer radio show made its way onto Twitter via Peyton Royce. Now yeah, the clip has been stripped of context just a little bit. He was talking about WWE's cosmetic treatment of women, but what he said in the clip is unacceptable in any form. He talks about how she does nothing for him and how she looked better back in NXT when she was, quote, lighter. Wow. Now these comments understandably kicked up a bit of a storm, with Peyton Royce herself saying, "What would you have me do, Dave? Starve myself? This is how nightmares for young women start." And then obviously all of her friends and colleagues came to her side, with Renee Young's comment standing out with just calling him a true piece of sweltering hot garbage. Now Meltzer did apologize, but he did it in the worst way possible by saying, "I'd like to apologize to you. You are an exceedingly attractive woman." Wow, how are you not getting this? What you think about her looks has no place in any conversation. You can objectively talk about the way WWE treats women, but don't objectify the women you're talking about. And that's it for Insane Things this week. Jules is going to be back next week, so don't worry about that. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at PhilMyChambers, and a massive thank you to Michael Sidgwick for writing this. I'll see you again soon.